Hi guys, welcome back. Today's episode is going to be a short segment on my two previous episodes, alignment and containment. This episode is just going to be here to serve as a differentiator between the two, because they can kind of get mixed up because they do produce some of the same results. And when you understand what the actual problem is, you are able to tackle it better. And that is my goal, to bring some clarity and help you all push forward in life no matter what you're doing. So you know how this goes. I have a series of a few questions I'm going to answer, and I encourage you all to pause and answer if you want to as well, or if not, listen to mine, but always make sure you do that reflection. That reflection is so important. So let's get straight into it. The first question: why this episode if I already made two separate episodes addressing alignment and containment? So as I kind of previously just stated, I made this episode because those two topics are very similar. And if you don't break down certain aspects, they can look like the same side. But with the breakdown and the comparison, you can see where they differ, and you can see where you actually are. It makes it more clearer. It gives you more clarity. With alignment issues, it's not that you aren't producing, it's just that you are producing in the wrong environment. So it leads to being drained, it leads to burnout. But containment means you aren't holding your energy enough. You aren't putting it in the right environment. So you're just losing it. So it leads to burnout and being drained. So there are two sides of the same coin. And to understand how to actually work with them, you need to understand the differences between the two. So we're going to get right into the next question. And the next question is, what would be the best way to spot the differences? So again, we already spoke of alignment, but if you don't really understand alignment, you can go to watch the alignment episode. And I encourage you to also watch the containment episode and then come back. But you can stay as well if you want to listen and then go back and watch episodes later. But the best way to spot the difference. So what I'm going to do now is tell you a little bit about alignment and a little bit about containment. So alignment is being in line with what you want, who you want to be, what you want to pursue. So when you put in effort, it's aligned. There's no friction. Friction causes extra effort. Imagine you're pushing a box on a carpet. There is extreme friction on the carpet. On the bottom of the box from the carpet. So you have to push harder. When you're pushing a box on a hardwood floor, there's little to no friction, so it slides. That applies to everything in life. So when you are working towards something and there is friction and a lot of friction, you are not necessarily that aligned. So alignment makes it easier to do work. And that, if you're not aligned, you can burn out and you can have, energy loss. That's alignment, is just making sure that you are in the right environment and the work that you're putting in is, flowing with the environment. So the effort you put in is exponentially grown. You have momentum. When you're not aligned, it's harder to push, right? Now, containment. You can be in the perfect environments with containment. Containment is like having a water bottle with a hole in it. You're constantly filling the water bottle up, but it constantly leaks because it has a hole in it. Containment is making sure that you have no holes, making sure that everything is patched so that the water bottle can completely be full. The process can completely be done. When you don't have containment, your energy is being wasted, and energy compounds, it moves things. So when you have containment, the energy that you're outputting is fully being outputted. None is being wasted. So you're seeing all your results. You're seeing everything. You can be in the perfect environment, but without containment, you can destroy your results, right? It's not about you being in the wrong environment. It's about you wasting energy. It's like I mentioned, it's like having a car, putting gas in the car, but you have a leak in your gas pipe. So you're going, but you're not going far. You keep having to come and fill up gas. But if you were to fix the issue with the hole in the gas pipe, you would not have to do that. You're going to go where you want to go regardless. But, you want more gas in a tank. Gas is energy, So that's the best way to spot the difference. Alignment, extra effort. If you're not aligned, you're putting in extra effort and you're not really, you know, in the right environment. Like, no matter how much effort you put in, you're going to have friction. That means you're not aligned. Now, containment, you may be going somewhere, but you're not going as far as you want to be. It's because you need to contain more. You need to patch up those leaks and you'll be fine. So, the next question is, why don't you choose alignment, but you choose containment? And I mean, in terms of like, you have to let go in terms of being aligned. And you do choose that, right? But it's more of your environment is telling you because of the friction. So you are choosing to be aligned, but it's because of something coming to let you know in terms, that's friction. The friction is letting you know, okay, you're not in the right environment. You're being informed, right? You're choosing if you want to based off of that information, but you have to be informed. Now, I say you don't choose alignment, but you choose containment because you choose to contain yourself. That's a choice. And if you don't choose to contain yourself, you might still be moving. You might still be showing up. But containment is something that you choose. You can choose not to contain your energy and still move forward, right? And still not have friction and still, be there. But that's where you kind of have the choice. When it's not an issue with alignment, you kind of have more choice. When it's an issue of alignment, you're going to be feeling it. Like, it's like, oh my gosh. It's like you can't choose to feel it or not. That's what I mean. You can't choose if you feel it or not. Like, you're going to have friction regardless. Containment, you can kind of mess around with containment, but alignment, you can't choose if you're going to feel friction. If you're not aligned, you're going to feel friction regardless. And where you do choose, you choose to let go of what is causing the friction and to choose something new. Whether it be an old relationship, an old environment, an old workplace, just old habits, you choose based off that friction. Right? So we're on to the next question. How can containment affect alignment? How can containment affect alignment? So again, containment is containing that energy, being able to propel, being able to move forward. When you aren't containing the energy that you need, you are not getting to where you need to be. So with that being said, you may not be aligned to where you need to be. You're a little behind, right? You're not on time because you are wasting energy. Your car is stopping right before the red light. You can't even get to your destination because you have not had enough fuel to move your car. So you're not being aligned in the places you need to be at the right times because you are not containing enough fuel to get there, right? So it's all about containing your fuel, containing your energy. And if you don't do it well enough, you'll start to realize you're not where you need to be. So what I'm basically trying to say, these are interchangeable, but you have to recognize both because they both show up in different ways, but they can be used with each other. Two sides of the same coin. And the last question is basically the previous one flipped. How can alignment affect containment? So if you're not aligned, you are using extra energy. Again, like I said, pushing a box across carpet, you're using extra energy that you shouldn't be using because the environment is just pushing you away. It's putting friction on you. So you are containing less. You're exerting more work where it does not need to be work. So alignment can cause containment issues as well. You're not containing your energy as well because there are issues. And these issues begin to push against your boundaries, your barriers, what's helping you contain. They begin to push against those. They begin to break them even sometimes. So, if you're not aligned, you can cause other issues. It's just like a domino effect. So, just knowing the difference between the two, recognizing them in your life, understanding where you may need to show up and where you may need to change things is so important. But that is the last question for today. This episode was a little shorter. I encourage you to go back and watch the alignment and containment videos until it sticks. And I also encourage you to reflect on your life where you may need more alignment, where you need to contain more, just whatever. Not even in terms of just this. I know I make a lot of podcasts, but reflection is a key to life. And with it, you can change, right? So thank you all for joining. I'm super excited about this episode, particularly because it can help push your life forward. So take your time, read the questions, answer them if you can. If you can't, follow along with me and stay tuned.